Hey, boo, Pedro, not today. You're not sending your best. I'm gonna send you right back. Looking over that. Well, let's keep building this wall. There you go, brick by brick. My wall, frankly, shoots fire, you see? And you're gonna pay for it. Hands dropped! Hey, guys, in the chat, let me know what you'd like me to put in my moat. I'm thinking alligators and spikes.
Join Mug Club today and fight like hell at louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub. Use the promo code MILITARY for $10 off an annual membership all month long, and 10% of all the proceeds this month will be donated to military charities. Yes. That's the theme of today. Bring up the rundown. Can we deport millions of illegal aliens? Yes. Now, is it morally correct to? Yes. Should we? Yes. So this is something that's going on right now in the media where people are just losing their minds over Donald Trump's plan to deport millions of illegal aliens. Now, will it happen? I don't know. I hope it's not an empty promise. Can we do it? Absolutely. Is it cost effective? Without a doubt. As a matter of fact, we can't afford to not do it. So we'll talk about that. Also, I don't know if you know this, Kathy Hochul, the least popular leader of any state.
Unelected official.
Unelected official thinks that black people are... No, well, she was elected, though, by crazy people.
That's true. Yeah.
By a coven. Coven?
Coven.
I was
going to get to you.
You can admonish me right away. But Kathy Hochul thinks that black people are stupid. Now, I know she said the quiet part out loud because Democrats tend to treat black people as though they're, unable to get off of welfare, unable to get voter ID, don't know what the word computer means. She said that. You think what I'm saying is worse than what she said. She actually said that. And we'll also be talking about a German politician who was fined for criticizing Afghani rapists. Now, I know what you're saying. That's hyperbole. No, I use that as the descriptors because they are Afghani and they rape a lot. So, if at any point today you see this while watching on YouTube, head on over to Rumble because it's probably going to happen when we show you a montage of Democrats being racist. It's a live show, weekdays 10 a.m. Eastern. So, there you go. My question to you is, if you're watching this, you're not watching live, don't cheat. Okay, don't fast forward.
Don't.
Do you think there are any drawbacks to mass deportation of illegal immigrants? If so, list them. And then I will disabuse you of those brown notions. Japton Morgan?
Japton?
There's a story about the Japanese, too.
Really?
Yeah, there is.
I don't think there is.
They're racist, according to Biden.
I'm pretty sure there's not.
There's absolutely a story about the Japanese. Don't do this to me. How are you, Captain Morgan?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
I have a request.
Uh-oh.
I want you to do the...
I'm not doing that. I'm not putting on the outfit. And ABC, your wife has to monitor. What?
No. ABC always be closing, ABD always be deporting, but in a Trump voice. I want it at some point.
Oh, ABC always
ABD,
be
it's gotta be
deporting. ABD. Doesn't have the same ring to it, but either way.
Hey.
ABD, all beaners deported.
Hey, always.
That's not
Be
nice.
self-explanatory again.
Was it action decision?
AIDA.
Always be closing.
AIDA. Always.
Is that right?
ICE. Give more money to ICE. ICE. Deport them all. Gotta deport them all. Illegal ones. All right. When you hear this, you know who it is. You love him. He's here on the program. You can watch his comedy special, American, on Mug Club. And thank him for his service. Josh Firestine, how are you?
There it is. We went a couple days without it. We went a whole weekend.
Because
we went a 4-day weekend.
Josh is not that guy, and I thought that people understood the joke that Josh is not that guy who demands you thank him for
Not that
service.
guy, pal.
But some people think you are, and so I felt bad.
It's all right.
Yeah.
We're back.
But I sincerely think
We're back, boys.
I wouldn't be able to do what I do if not for you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, did you hear that, Gerald?
I'd be speaking Japanese or German.
That's right.
So,
Because he's 85.
I have great skin.
yes, you do. You do. You
Probably
must
have to be
moisturize.
100, I guess. I don't know.
All right. New York Governor Kathy Hochul. I don't like using that term when she wasn't elected because a guy allegedly called someone sweet cheeks and now she has a job.
Was she Sweet Cheeks?
No, she wasn't sweet cheeks. Cuomo, allegedly called someone, with the nipple barbells. Like, apparently
yes.
he
That's right.
sexually harassed someone else. And you know what? Look, before I go on, I'm sorry, the Stormy Daniels thing is going on right now. It's just too easy. It doesn't mean that there aren't monsters out there. It's just, there's too much incentive for women to take advantage of false accusations. And do I think that the Cuomos they're Italian brothers who grew up in New York, for crying out loud? I guarantee you their behavior would be unacceptable today. Does that mean they're rapists? I don't like them. But no, probably not. My point is, Kathy Hochul's a horrible person and she's not really governor. Come at me, bro. So, more importantly, or less importantly, but more funnily, she does not think, and this is kind of par for the course for the Democrat Party, they think that you're dumb. They want you to stay dumb, right? If the Republican Party is a party of the rich, as they say, well, they would need enough rich people to win a majority vote. If the Democrat Party is a party of the poor, they need a majority of people to be poor or they never win another election. If they say, for example, hey, black people are uneducated, they need black people to remain uneducated in order to try and buy their votes. The same thing with illegal immigrants. So she said this, she had a slip where she actually said, Kathy Hochul, that black kids don't know what a computer is. Believe the clip.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is.
Oh my God.
They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
Oh my gosh. Did Christy Nome pay her to get her out of the news cycle? Please help me, someone say something more radical.
Actually, she did. Christy Nome did, but then she couldn't help herself. She blew up an SPCA immediately afterwards. Undid the good. I can't help it. I just like killing cute things.
What's her Dalmatian Jack?
That's so cruel.
The New York Times even, this is what they said regarding Hochul's remarks. They said, seemed consistent with her blunt, folksy style, which can occasionally veer into caricature.
Yeah, that's what black people like. They like being made into caricatures.
Yes.
White gloves, pink lips.
Yeah. She's got that old roots twang.
You forgot racist.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
She's got the little bit of the first act, Remember the Titans affectation. Okay, first off, no one believes this, right? None of you believe, just like when people say, oh my gosh, the problem is people don't know about birth control. It's 2024 in inner city Detroit and Cleveland as well. I think people know what sperm does, okay? I tend to err on that side. Maybe some people don't. I've got to imagine that those are people in rural areas who have not been touched by modern electricity. Not black people. I can't imagine black
Bronx.
people don't even know what a computer is. What?
That's a bit
No.
far.
It wasn't. It doesn't even know what the word computer means.
Oh,
It's worse.
right.
Cannot compute. Oh, wait. Cannot fathom.
Don't know what to do.
Has she heard of World Star?
This is yeah.
It's a whole website
It's a
on
whole
a computer.
website. I forgot. Charlemagne
bias.
became popular when his show went online. For God's sake.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, does she? Okay, so this is just another example, though, of them saying the quiet part out loud. I am not just saying this to score political points. I genuinely believe that the Democrat Party always, it's the party of racism. And they have told you time and time again. And when they do this, when they tell you what they actually think about black Americans, believe them.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Just because someone has a person of color, a black person working for them, does not mean they aren't racist.
I'm like the token black.
They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators.
They're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife.
They're going to put you all back in chains.
Some very popular African-American artists that are out here saying things like, oh, I got checks when Trump was in office. I want those checks again, not understanding that that really came from Congress.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American who was articulate and bright and
This
clean.
condescending prick.
Figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
There are a whole lot of people, especially people who live in rural communities, who don't, there's no Kinkos, there's no Office Max.
And he ran a bunch of bad boys.
And then we also have an issue as it relates to civics in this country and people not understanding exactly how any of this works.
We already have a nigger mayor. We don't need any more nigger big shot.
Well, that last one, I know at first glance seems pretty bad. It is at second glance too.
Yeah.
At 50th glance.
Yeah, at all glances.
We've had a few glances on this thing, and it's bad every time.
So condescending, Howard. This would start a fight in a black community if you played this. Be like, he said what?
And I love how it's excused by the left, the same feminist left, the intersectional left, who say that it's patronizing to tell a woman that she has a pretty smile. Like, are you saying smile more? I don't know. You don't seem to have a problem with they want to put y'all back in chains and you don't know what a computer means. So I don't think that me saying you have a pretty smile is quite as belittling, but I don't understand the rules anymore. P.S. You're fat and ugly.
You're so articulate.
Yes.
What the hell does that mean?
You have a great personality. What? I'm not fine?
The implication is that other black Americans, they're not articulate.
Right, and he's surprised that they would be because he assumes that they all are not.
Yes.
Well, don't forget clean.
Right.
He also said clean.
Right.
Which, by the way, is not even a negative stereotype that I think racists have of black people, generally speaking.
Yeah, I don't think that's a.
I don't think at a Klan meeting like, they don't shower enough.
Like,
What?
okay, Bill.
Yeah,
all right,
all
we'll
right.
add that one to the list too, I guess.
We're more so talking about crime and not allowing them to read with literacy tests and barriers to
supremacy
entry.
and
But I don't know. I think I've actually they're pretty clean. You see how they take care of their hair? They take good care of their hair.
I mean, at that time, we had a black Supreme Court justice. Is he not clean, articulate, well-spoken, put together?
What about Condoleezza Rice? What about Colin Powell?
There's just so many names.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, if you don't know if you're for him or Trump, you ain't black. So comment below if you ain't black.
Thank God for a white man to tell you whether you're black or not.
That's true. We need someone to.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I get it.
Hey, Stephen.
Yeah.
Despite your butt, you ain't black.
I know. Well, I do have a percentage of
sure.
sub-Saharan African in me.
But not enough.
It's enough. And by the way, and I know we've told you this, but none of this happens without you. I'm sure we've had to hit the YouTube dump button without you and Mug Club, right? louderwithcredit.com/Mug Club. This is Military Appreciation Month. We are offering $10 off if you enter in the promo code military. 10% of all the proceeds go to military charities. But as we gear up going into election season, guys, this is it's a very expensive endeavor. We're not going to self-censor. And if you're on the fence, please, we welcome your support. We've left nothing for the swim back. So we're pretty close to our goals here going into the election season. But, we could use your support. And I won't tell. And if you don't join Mug Club, you ain't black. So,
Or gay. I don't know, whichever one.
it could be either one. Yeah. So here's another story, just really quickly. Before we get to, I really want to spend some time on the mass deportation. I'm excited. I'm like a kid. I'm like a white kid at Christmas. It's deporting them like a reward. So,
Jesus.
I don't know. I figure Christoph Waltz would
It works. It does work. Yeah, it's something you would say.
We're going to send you back home on Spirit Airlines. So
That's like a Christoph Schwarzenegger.
a little bit. There's a little bit of both of them. So you may not, and you've heard me talk about this. You can go back to one of the first Change My Minds. It may be the first Change My Mind where I just had a sandwich board in Vermont in Bernie Sanders' backyard. Free speech doesn't exist outside of the United States. That's why I still believe, if for no other reason, that it's the greatest country on earth. I think we have a lot of flaws. No country is perfect, but freedom of speech is not enshrined as a fundamental human right into their constitution. In any other country, to the degree that it is here in the United States. And you have this luxury here in the United States of claiming the First Amendment when it's convenient for you, leftists, for example, disrupting campuses with, Hamas riots. But of course, the First Amendment is absolute. And I've defended it you can go back to 2008. It's always been really at the forefront of what we do here. A big part of this is that I was raised in Canada, where it's not a thing, just to be clear. It's also not a thing all across Europe. It's certainly not a thing across Asia. And I don't really know if it's a thing across the entire continent of Africa because it's generally a war-torn land of chaos and sadness. Not because they're black, just because it's a horrible continent with corrupt governments. So freedom of speech is a uniquely American ideal as it exists in the modern world. Well, it's a uniquely American ideal. Let me put it two ways. Uniquely American ideal, and then in practice, it only actually exists here in the United States in 2024. So this brings us to what's been going on here in Germany, as an example. And we've given you many examples in the past. For example, a man in the UK who was actually jailed for doing a cover of Kung Fu Fighting at a karaoke bar. That was seen as racist. You have people who've been arrested for memes, right? You have comedians who've been arrested or been put before human rights tribunals in Canada for jokes. But this Monday, the German Alternative for Germany, the AfD politician Marie-Therese Kaiser, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, she was fined $6,400 for a 2021 Facebook post criticizing immigration policies. So let me read you the post. I believe it says, right here, I have it. Afghanistan refugees, Hamburg SPD mayor for unbureaucratic acceptance, welcoming culture for gang rape. Also, it's important to note there was a lot of gang rape going on with these migrants who were coming into Germany. We covered it back then. She was also, by the way, hit with a criminal record due to the nature of how they administer fines. They call it a 100-day fine. They do it on a day-by-day basis. So she now has a criminal record for a Facebook post that included a question regarding gang rape. Also, I don't know what happened to #BelieveAllWomen, but apparently not a German politician if she's devastatingly attractive. She defended her post in an interview saying, with culture of welcome for gang rape, I clearly used a provocative slogan, but it was marked as a question.
I'm just asking questions.
She's a German Jesse Ventura.
How to do it.
I don't want to talk about fluoride in your tap. Who took down Tower 7, buddy?
That's a hard one there.
It is good.
So my question to you is, do you think she's wrong? Do you think she should be fined? Do you think, even if you think that there's a limit to free speech, which is dumb, do you think that this crosses that line? Let me read you some headlines regarding rape, specifically as it relates to Germany. Here's one. Germany, an 18-year-old student raped in the Munich metro by a young Afghan. Here's another one. Afghan sex offender avoids deportation over risk of, quote, mob violence in the UK. Here's another one. Outrage in Germany after Afghan migrant who was arrested for, quote, raping an 11-year-old was released after 12 days, then raped another girl, 13. So that's anecdotal, but I'll provide some facts for you. Here, you can bring this up. Afghans in Germany, Afghan migrants, particularly recent Afghani migrants, they're 40 times more likely to commit gang rape than Germans.
Wow.
Afghans in Germany, 40 times more likely to commit gang rape. That's a statistic. All references available at louderwithcrowder.com. Also, they're 40 times less likely to be raped themselves. And she's 22.
Well, come on. She's living a hard life.
She looks like she's about to offer me an apple.
Yeah. Lightning bolts come out of her hand.
Yeah, do it.
I can't believe like this. Just a post on Facebook gets you not only a fine, right? No, let's go back. Somebody making a phone call to you to tell you that you have done something wrong. Then I'm surprised that it gets you a fine. Then I'm surprised that they went out of their way to do it in a way that would give her a criminal record. Mm-hmm. They should have not done, at the very least, that. If you're going to fine her, which you shouldn't do in the first place, you don't fine somebody enough to give them a criminal record just because they asked a question, even if you disagree with the question. Like, that does highlight, obviously, what you led off with, that free speech does not exist over there.
Also, where free speech does not exist, guess what? You will end up with selective prosecution of political opponents. That's what's happening in Germany. They don't like what she's saying. They don't like that there's a groundswell of people supporting her. And so they decide to silence you through basically legalized thuggery. Yeah. That's what's happening. We're seeing that with Donald Trump.
And gang rape.
And gang rape.
And gang rape.
But you often, you're not able to to project.
You're not allowed to blow a whistle.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do? Just take it?
By the way, I had a horrible product that I want, a rape whistle. It was wildly unpopular. It just called more rapists.
Oh, well, that's a bad thing.
I misunderstood.
Scroll back up to one of
That's
those
a
headlines
rapist
for me real
call.
quick that we had there. I want to tell you what this headline really should be. So right there, it's fine. So Afghan sex offender avoids deportation over risk of mob violence. It should be Afghan sex offender deported over risk of mob violence.
Yes.
You should not be allowed. Like, the people of Germany should be rising up en masse right now and threatening mob violence if they do not get rid of the problem of somebody who's a convicted sex offender who's in their country potentially raping people. Obviously, the next person goes down and he rapes a 11-year-old, then a 13-year-old 12 days later. This is easy.
Yeah.
Nobody should be on the side of, hey, keep the sex offender in the country because of the threat of mob violence. I feel like you should have a greater sized mob to threaten them.
This is how the left denies reality. Look, it's really this simple. If you accept behaviors, you will get more of that behavior. If you punish certain behaviors, you will see less of that behavior. If you are accepting of migrant gang rape, then you get to the point of 40 times the gang rape from Afghan Germans than native-born Germans.
It's disappointing, too, because Germany used to be so good at this kind of stuff.
Depending at which era.
Until they went on their world tour.
Yes, exactly.
Like any great band.
Yes.
I had a great transportation.
You go international, sometimes things just kind of get screwed
Now
up.
they're just a cheap cover band.
Yeah, come on.
Gosh.
Also, by the way, as it relates to, and click the like button if you are anti-migrant rape. Hopefully, we can find some
Especially
common ground
gang
there.
rape.
Yeah, especially gang rape.
Not one-on-one.
I mean, rape's
bad.
Rape's bad enough. You know what? It could be argued that gang rape is worse.
It could be.
It's like they skipped that part of the issue. Right. They're like, no. They're not raping people. They're gang raping people.
Well, they're malnourished, so they need the numbers.
Yeah.
And aside from her astute observations on migrant crime, Kaiser does bring many other skills to the table, like this. That's called just being. That's her skill.
Oh.
And this. Look at that.
I hate the hat.
Also this.
Cute.
Yeah, I mean, good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
Good for her. I think I found another reason they don't like her.
Everybody in the Reichstag hates her.
Yes. Also, here she is talking about hashtags just because we wanted to spend a little more time than necessary on this lovely lady.
Dort hinterlassen waren, also beispielsweise Hashtag Fuck AfD, sind dann wieder neue Personen auf mich aufmerksam geworden und haben das wieder zum Anlass genommen, da dann wieder Kommentare und ja, böse Nachrichten zu hinterlassen.
On second thought, she's no Miss Germany, so she is doing okay, but take notes from that thing.
There's work to be done.
Yes.
Was that like the B team of Miss Germany?
That is Miss Germany.
That is Miss Germany.
Like the real.
That is Miss Germany.
We covered it a little while ago.
Bring it up again. On the right, Miss Germany. On the left, politician who they hate for commenting on gang rape.
This country's lost.
Yeah.
I just.
I bet you if you were to take one of those secret polls, most of those crowds would say, I prefer the one on the left.
The one on the left!
I know I need to check my privilege, but mein boner doesn't care.
So, it's a veritable beauty weather stick.
She's
Doesn't
a
lie.
nine.
Yep. Has nothing to do with societal conditioning. You look at the side by side and you go, that one.
So stupid.
Look,
Well, I don't know. What's her belief on global economics?
I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
No, left.
I'm not going to be listening. So, free speech is a uniquely, everything that we're doing right now here, we could be jailed, for example, in places in Europe or Canada for saying these things.
Yeah.
We've been, in the United States, you're demonetized, of course, on YouTube. And that's no small thing, right? That is a livelihood. People have fought wars for less. They fought wars for land. They've fought wars for resources to provide for their family. Losing at least couple $1 million a year, which keeps the lights on, keeps the 30-some people here employed, allows us to cover the elections. That's a big deal. In places like Germany, places like the UK and Canada, they're actually past that point where they will jail you and give you a criminal record. I'm pissed that we've had to completely reformat our ability to provide for our families here. That's why you're CEO, and Cheryl's very good at it. But I am grateful that I'm not in jail at this point. Yeah. And again, your support louderearthcredit.com/mugclub, entering the promo code military. That's what keeps this going. And that is where we are headed. If they remove the livelihoods of Americans for speaking freely, they remove you from political platforms, guess what? Then they can start jailing you. So this is that first phase. It is important. Having a voice is important, or you lose everything. And also, by the way, you can go to creditshop.com and grab the Trump 2024 Change My Mind shirt, which is fun. It's a good conversation starter.
Yes, it is. Wear it into highly blue areas and record.
Over your flak jacket.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about this. President Trump, and I will tell you this, I'm seeing when people would say, I'd like Donald Trump, but maybe a little more disciplined. You're seeing that. You're seeing a good balance here. You're seeing a guy who's still fighting like the contender that he was at one point in time, but also taking advantage of some of the tools that he has now that he didn't once have. And he does seem to be a little more careful with his words while still being authentic. That's my opinion. You can comment below and tell me if you've seen that. I'm pretty happy to witness it. It also serves a purpose to highlight that the media will demonize you no matter what anyway. So if you listen to what President Trump, some people call him former president, some people call him sitting president, I call him sitting president, okay? If you listen to what he said at a rally in Wisconsin last week, seems very reasonable and measured. The media lost their mind anyway, so we'll go through their claims versus the truth. But President Trump talked about his commitment, I should say, reaffirmed his commitment to the idea of actually not just building a wall, deporting illegal aliens in massive numbers.
By allowing millions and millions, which is not sustainable, of people coming into our country through the southern border, and many, many really bad ones, okay? Many, many bad ones. You're going to destroy Social Security. You're going to destroy Medicare. You're going to destroy the fabric of the country. It's not sustainable.
True.
It's not affordable by any country.
True.
And they're going to destroy our country. So we're going to have the largest deportation in the history of our country. We have no choice.
Watch what he says here.
And we start with the bad one. We start with the bad ones, and there's plenty of them.
He said you don't have a choice. That's true. At this point in time, you don't have a choice. There is a tipping point. You do have to determine what kind of a country you want to be. And this is where, and I've discussed this many times in Change My Minds if you want to go watch those, and we always make the references available. Don't tell me about dreamers, about anchor babies, if we can't find common ground on immediately deporting violent illegal aliens who have been caught here in this country. There should not be one single illegal alien in our prison system. Gone. One-way ticket. If you're not going to do that, then there will be no wiggle room from me on anchor babies. Yep, they have to go too. If the left right now says we will deport every single violent illegal alien in this country, just that, if they were to agree to that, which would be very cost effective, it would not be expensive to do. Okay, then we would know we're actually discussing this in good faith. They never have, they never will. So let's go through some of the claims that people are making to try and fearmonger and make you feel as though, and this is a majority of Americans who support the idea of cracking down on illegal immigration, they want you to feel as though you're racist. Here's a claim that they will make, and we're going to go through all of it. The claims of crime, the finances, that this is too expensive. None of it is true. Verifiably. First claim they make is these illegal aliens are actually model citizens.
Can you imagine a kid 2 years old saying, "Mom, don't take me across Rio Grande, it's against the law"?
No.
Give me a break. These have been model citizens.
I'm sure the child said that.
Yeah, I can't imagine a 2-year-old with that kind of vocabulary.
Right, and if he did, Biden wouldn't understand him. So here's the truth. That is complete, unadulterated horseshit. It's not even close. Now, what they do is this little trick where they try and tell you, actually, and they include, and they'll do this all the time, right? You have to be really, really careful to look at the studies, to look at the data. Does it refer to immigrants or illegal immigrants?
Right.
Or as they'll refer to them as unauthorized. They'll pull whichever one is most convenient. As it relates to illegal aliens in this country, they are not model citizens. They commit crime at astronomical rates. We're done with that. So let me give you some examples here. DACA, right? Some of the approvals that have taken place with prior arrests. Okay, battery and assault, over 6,700 people approved. Driving-related accidents, including like DUIs, DWIs, over 29,515. Sex crimes, including rape, meaning DACA approvals, 976. Kidnapping and sex trafficking, 173. Murder, 15. And half of those with 4 arrests or more were granted DACA approvals.
What? That's insane.
How about battery assault? You're never coming back here. Wait, DUI? Nope. Sex trafficking?
Yeah, kidnapping and trafficking, murder. Shouldn't we at least you should be able to okay, fine. DUI, I still think you should go. But okay, fine, I'll give you DUI if you give me murder.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe give me
we're only asking for 15 people. We're not saying everybody's a murderer. 15 of them need to fucking go.
Yep, at least that. Let's start with that. And illegal aliens, they are committing crimes at a rate much higher than people who are here legally. Okay, let me give you some numbers here. 75% of federal drug offenders are illegal aliens.
What?
They make up 27%. Illegal aliens make up 27% of federal prison populations, but only 9% of the general population. Just to be clear, there is no argument to be had that illegal aliens are model citizens, or even that they don't commit crime at several multiples in the data at a rate higher than people who are not here illegal. And that's not to include the fact that it's a crime to come here illegally.
Well, it's 100% rate of committing crimes.
That is a 100% rate.
I mean, you start off.
These are what we call the bonus crimes.
Yeah. And look,
we want to focus on those crimes though. We want to focus on the violent crimes and
let's start with that.
Yes.
When people say, "Hey, I'm a centrist." Okay, common ground? Any sex traffickers? Any gang members? Any murderers? Any kidnappers?
Trying to feed their family, Stephen.
You know what? Let's start. Deport all of them.
No, they won't.
The answer is no. So it requires Trump. Period. That's your choice.
Yeah, and I love the way that he put that. And you kind of mentioned it off the top when he said it. He said, "We have no choice." He didn't say it with glee.
Right.
He said it like, guys, you don't understand. There is no other choice. You have to do this. Otherwise, you will cease to be a country. It will absolutely ruin this country. And I like lasering in on this. This is just like the abortion case, right? If I grant you rape and incest and life of the mother, even though that's overused, right? If I grant you all of that, can we at least put a number on it now? Can we put a number now on it? What about not in the 9th month of pregnancy? What about not in the 8th or the 7th month? Like, can we at least put a line there? And you get really quickly to the bottom of the argument, which is there is no limit that they want on abortion. Same thing here. Can we just get rid of murderers, people that are in this country illegally that are murderers? How about people that have participated in sex trafficking or kidnapping? Can we just at least, and they'll say no. You're like, okay, then there is no solution for you. There is no bill that would solve this problem by sending more people down to the border. It's just window dressing to make it look like you're doing something because people care about the border in this election. You guys don't care about this issue.
If you claim that you are... you claim that you are concerned about rape culture and you do not support a wall or mass deportation of migrants, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Okay? Sorry, you can argue, but I don't believe you. I think you're full of shit. By the way, this is not cruel.
No.
President Trump just wants to send them back home.
You can kind of hear it.
Jose was a man down south in Tijuana, Mexico, since he was young. But he jumped the fence and now he'll be deported by the hand of good old Don. You have to go back, go back, go back to the place you belong. You have to go back, go back, go back where you were smuggled from. You have to go back, Jose.
Yeah.
That is a good Paul McCartney.
Pretty does. Yeah.
Let's go through another claim, because this is the next argument that they'll throw up. Even though we've already made the only argument that matters, they won't deport violent felons, but let's continue. Here's a claim that they will make, that President Trump's plan would cost $500 billion to deport all illegal aliens. We can't afford that because now all of a sudden the left cares about fiscal responsibility.
Yes.
Remember I told you, if they all of a sudden start saying we can't afford that and all of a sudden they're budgeting, you know they're lying. Here's the truth. The cost of not deporting illegal aliens is far higher. Just the cost.
Yeah.
Not only the cost of life, not only the cost of your country as you know it, the actual cost, okay, the annual cost of illegal aliens to the United States, the lowest that you see as of 2023, $150 billion. The high end, $451 billion.
That's a recurring cost.
That's a recurring cost every year. You can go back to the build the wall, change my mind in front of the White House, I believe and back then the number I said it was $116 billion.
Yeah.
That's how rapidly it's gone up. Low end, $150 billion. High end annually, $451 billion.
Wow.
They say that this deportation program would cost $500 billion, and that's too expensive. Let's also go to, by the way, it would be less expensive moving forward if we had a wall. And not just a wall. We're talking about a wall, but manners in which we can effectively patrol our border. The costs that are estimated to build a wall, $11 billion to $25 billion.
I think that's the gold plating for Donald Trump on the wall. If he does. His version is $25 billion.
11 to 25 billion. Democrats have tried to report it could cost up to 70 billion, meaning that is the worst case scenario, and no one other than the DNC has actually said, right, that it would be $70 billion as far as economists. So let's call it $11 billion to $70 billion, the most accurate estimate that I would, let's 20. Let's call it 30 billion. But let's just still look, even at their worst possible projection, building a border wall would still be less than 50% of supporting illegal aliens for 1 year. If you use the more accurate estimates, it would be less than 10% of sustaining illegal aliens for 1 year. If the federal government, to put this into context, all references available at loudearthcreditor.com, link in the description. If the federal government bought a one-way plane ticket to from New York City to Cancun for every single illegal alien at $181 per person, we ran the search, assuming 20 million illegal aliens, that's the highest number, the lowest number is 11 million, it would cost the taxpayer $3.6 billion.
That's not $500 billion. That's a little lower.
It's a little less.
Billion. Yeah.
$3.6 billion. Throw in some red tape. All right, let's call it $10 billion.
I'd pony that up.
And actually here, because we care about these people, we've actually come up with a campaign that we think would be perfect as it relates to getting bipartisan support to get these immigrants out of the country and provide them with all of the amenities that they so deserve.
What would you do if there was an immigrant right in front of you, using up all your tax dollars, crying for more free food, credit cards, housing, and the luxurious lifestyle that you believe they deserve? And what if all you had to do was reach into your pocket and pull out just a little bit of money to give them not only the hope, but also the help they need to succeed? For just $81 a day, you could sponsor an immigrant's tough journey to freedom in Cancun, Mexico. Sun, sand, margaritas. Enjoy everything the heart desires in Cancun, Mexico. They can migrate in style with an all-expenses-paid, all-inclusive getaway as they plan their new life south of the border. They can enjoy pristine beaches, world-class dining and nightlife, and even scuba dive with the sharks, or explore ancient Mayan history, and in many ways, explore themselves. For a better world, for a better America. Por favor, ten un corazón. Trump 2024.
You're a compassionate man.
Yeah, keeps everybody happy.
Yeah,
you are.
Keeps everybody. I did the math, by the way. 1 month in an all-inclusive resort in Cancun, Mexico, as low as $2,430.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, that's way less than New York City, and they'd have more fun.
Yes, they would. They would absolutely have more fun.
It's not even arguable.
Of course.
And they speak the language.
They'd see more tits.
There's way less bikinis. There's way less bikinis in New York
What did
City.
I miss?
I don't know what you missed. Have to go to Cancun to figure it out. I went to the Cancun Climate Summit. I think I've told this story. And, that's because everyone flew in there to talk about fixing climate change. And they keep trying to sell these shirts. And they're like, hey, so $15 Mayan t-shirt, Mayan t-shirt. I said, I don't want a Mayan. They go, Aztec shirt. We have an Aztec shirt. And I said, and I was just trying to get rid of them. I said, I only do Inca shirts. And the guy,
my friends.
No, he stopped and he said, that's Peru, you dumbass.
Yeah,
Yeah, he got you, dude.
I bought a few shirts.
That's a sick burn. Did he have ink in shirts?
I mean, it was a burn. That's obviously I knew that he wasn't going to have Inca shirts, but the fact that he was so cruel in his treatment of the gringo, I had to buy the shirts.
Yeah, because he knew what you were up to.
Yeah, he knew what I was up to. He called me right on.
Awesome.
So let's go through another claim that they will make here regarding illegal immigration in opposition to the idea of deporting them. That illegal aliens are actually a benefit to the United States because they pay taxes. Now, this is discounting the 150 to 400 and some odd billion dollars per year that they cost the American taxpayer. Okay, here's the truth. Tax revenue from illegal aliens in this country is pretty much nothing. So to give you an idea, in 2019, $3.6 trillion in federal taxes were collected.
You're welcome.
Yep.
$3.6 trillion. Illegal aliens paid $25 billion of that $3.6 trillion.
Really?
Yeah, so not even close to the tab that they cost American taxpayers.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah. That's
like a border wall.
That is 6/10.
Pay for their own wall.
The amount of taxes paid as it relates to the total percentage of taxes in the United States that come from illegal aliens is 0.6%. Wow. Contrast that with 59% of all illegal alien households they're on at least one welfare program.
That is insane. By the way, do me a favor. Look up these articles. Look up these articles where they say
we
that they
provide them
talk,
for you.
Yeah, look at how they phrase it when people are trying to say that they pay taxes. You won't see them land on a really hard data point or number.
Right.
You'll say, a lot of people do this. Many of those households do that. And it's like, you're telling me that people voluntarily pay taxes for services that they can't use when they have the get out of jail free card, which is, I don't have a number, and the employer knows that? And they're like, oh, they have a TIN number that the federal government gives, a tax identification number instead of a social security number. Who in their right mind does that when they could just not pay the taxes?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you guys understand how this works.
Mm-hmm.
It is $25 billion. I guarantee you the number's not even that high.
No, of course not.
I guarantee you. And sales tax, you're trying to use sales tax as the way out of this?
Yeah.
Seriously?
How many Fagos can you buy?
That's true. I don't even know what a Fago is, but I think it's right.
I don't know. But it's colorful. It brings a smile to my face.
You're a Fago, Jerry.
Hey, whoa.
Wow. That's hate speech somewhere.
I will tell you this. You know, I discovered like 3 weeks ago. What are they? Takis? Takis? They're like rolled up Doritos.
Yeah, Takis are good.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude.
They're way better than Flamin' Hot Cheetos or Doritos because it's like a rolled up Dorito.
They're hotter too.
Bro, you got to try the dried shrimp.
No. You mean like sea monkeys?
Actually, that's the most disgusting
a sea monkey pouch?
I'm not kidding. They dried shrimp.
Sticking sea monkeys.
Pull up a picture of the dried shrimp that they sell at convenience stores.
I prefer my shrimp wet, my friend.
I don't think that's
so bad.
South American. I think that's more Asian.
It's not.
It's really?
It is Hispanic. It's Mexican because my brother-in-law used to sell them.
What is it? Shrimp jerky?
It's literally
disgusting.
Just full shrimp. They look like full shrimp, just dried and in a bag. I'm not kidding.
Oh,
well, those look a little sanitized. Well, no, yeah.
That doesn't look so bad. She's in a nice dress.
Well, I think that's why she's in a nice dress.
Yeah,
because the food picture right behind her.
She's got a nice sombrero on.
Dried shrimp bags. There's worse.
She also looks very white.
Yeah,
like the Mexicans on soap operas. So we've gone through this, right? It's their argument is, hold on a second. These people are model citizens. You don't want to deport them. That's not true. Okay, crime is a problem. You know it. Believe your lying eyes and ears. Believe the statistics. And they say, well, this is it's too expensive. We can't afford it. That's not true. We can't afford to not do it. This is irrefutable. We can talk about it, but I'm going to tell you the numbers are pretty hard to try and bypass here. So the final claim that they may make, and this is why you see them making it, is, well, it's just okay. Let's say there's a lot of crime, and let's say it's cost effective, but it's just not feasible on a technical level. Logistically, we can't actually. It's not. He called his friends who were Mexican wetbacks. wants to plan to remove millions of illegals, 600,000 Afghans. They've already left. They heard of the plan. They're like, okay, screw it.
We're going to Germany.
They're leaving. Like, I guess my gang raping days are over.
Well, they're not over. No. They're just mobilized.
Yes, exactly.
Your gang rape is mobile.
The weirdest kind of gang to be in, too.
April 2024, the UK announced that it's going to start deporting migrants to Rwanda. So it has happened, and places are doing it. The problem is, a lot of these places are only doing it once they are past the tipping point. You do not want to be past the tipping point. I would argue the tipping point should have been when you see record numbers of crime taking place in border cities. I would argue that the tipping point should have been once we reach the hundreds of billions of dollars in annual costs to the American taxpayers. I would argue that the tipping point really happened at the inception of this country, where people should not be able to cross the border illegally to reap the benefits of our social welfare systems while not contributing. But you certainly will reach the tipping point once it is not financially sustainable and you cease to have a country. And I'm not talking just about this racially, and that's the difference between us and Europe. You will cease to have a country because the ideas that make the United States what it is will no longer be a thing. It's very different to have Irish Americans, Italian Americans, Jewish Americans, take your Polish Americans, take whichever generation you want, where they were coming here to become a part of the great American experiment. Yeah. They wanted to become American. That is not the same as a social safety enticement to these people, social safety nets, welfare programs, and they have no interest in becoming a part of the American culture. That's certainly a tipping point if you actually like America. Now, we know the left doesn't. There's the answer. They want America as we all know it and love it. They want that to cease to be. Why? To them, that's a beacon of white supremacy.
Yeah. And this is just another one of those points that doesn't make any sense. Like, we've learned from Europe. Europe is 15, 20 years ahead of us on this. They started allowing this kind of immigration to them. It was just like, yes, let anybody who wants to come in, and they can go anywhere in the European Union that they want to go. Mm-hmm. And it is destroying country after country after country, except, and I can't remember which country did this, I think it was Hungary, built a wall. They had really strict immigration policies. And you didn't see the terrorist attacks that we saw throughout Europe in that country. And I
think Poland was pretty strict.
Well, Poland was strict as well. Maybe it was Poland that you didn't see any of the terrorist attacks, but they have seen countries put these policies in place. Mm-hmm. And they have seen the effects. And they've seen the countries that didn't, and they've seen the effects. And the countries now are having to change their policies.
Yes.
This is not like we're speculating that this kind of stuff will happen. It is currently happening right now in our own country, but it's also happening in other countries that are further down the road that are having to reverse course. This should not be one of those litmus test issues for Democrats where it's like you have to be for complete, basically open borders. It should be protect this country, of course. And then we move on to other issues.
And I want you to, especially as you go into this election season, stop disconnecting yourself from these issues. The government is simply an entity that kind of determines the appropriation of your tax dollars. So be really clear with this right now. Your tax dollars, you are paying. Imagine paying cash, if you still actually had cash, paying cash to support the protesters that you see on campus. Imagine paying cash to support Zelensky and his umpteenth yacht. Don't fact check me, I'm exaggerating to make a point. Imagine paying cash for those people to travel to other states so they can have third trimester abortions being funded. Imagine paying cash so that Biden can buy votes right now. He cannot deport these people because he depends on them for votes. And you know who hates it most? Legal immigrants who are Hispanic. They're turning to Donald Trump in droves. It's not just about Trump and Biden. Yeah. It is about, this is a very clear delineation of ideals in this election. It is a closed-handed issue. It is the single most important issue to me in this election. I would love to hear from you. Is it your most important issue this election? And it doesn't mean that it's the most important issue morally as it relates to abortion, as it relates to locking people down, right, from the pandemic and government authority and infringement, of course, in the First Amendment. But none of those issues will even be argued if there is a generational theft to purchase votes.
Yeah.
You no longer have a country. That's why you have to fight like hell. That's why you need to speak out. That's why we do what we do. And by the way, we have the luxury to do that because, as we've discussed, our military. That's why we're doing Military Appreciation Month. $10 off at lightearthcreditor.com/mugclub if you enter in the promo code military. And we're giving 10% of the proceeds to charities. We'll be showing some videos here at the end of the month as we deliver those big Ed McMahon checks.
Yeah. And you don't have to be in the military too.
No, you don't have to be in the military.
Think that you have to be in the military.
No, you don't.
You don't. Not on this one.
You just have to not spit on them and call them baby killers. Then you get the discount code.
Unless that's what they're into. If they got a weird kink and they want you to spit on me, call me baby killer.
What you do behind closed doors or at Airport Terminal B is your own business.
Exactly.
So none of this should surprise anybody that the DNC, the Democrat Party, and Biden want to purchase votes, especially after former Vice President Biden called one of our allies xenophobic.
We already have a nigger mayor. We don't need any more nigger big shots.
Sorry, right clip. This is the one with him referring to Japan, I believe.
You know, there's sort of a new law, the laws of physics that can't change. There's sort of economic laws of physics that are occurring now. You cannot succeed as a country if you leave more than half of your brain power on the sidelines. Not a joke. Not a joke. Look what's going on. Look what's going on in Japan. There's an entire move because they are xenophobic, because they do not want to invite other people from outside their country to come in and make up the workforce. They have fewer workers than they have a need for workers.
Okay, birth rate, suicide, that's a problem. Can you imagine the conniption fit that Japanese workers would have if we sent our illegal Mexican aliens over there over a siesta?
What a great shame.
Yeah. No, they're polite outsiders that would be implosive racism and anger. Like they'd be working and I need more for order for. They just see someone taking a nap. Fuck!
Seppuku.
Yes.
That's true.
It's a choice. There's no nature-nurture argument. It's nurture.
All of it.
He's a dumb prick. Now, before we go to Mug Club, and you can click the join button right there if you're watching this right now on Rumble. If you're on YouTube, there is no button to click because we hate YouTube. Well, they don't allow us to do it anyway. See if let's just show a portion of this video. We're going to talk about this broad from Princeton who began a hunger strike for Hamas. That phrase sounds silly, but the video is even sillier.
Fighting any people of conscience in the Princeton
Okay, pause.
Students,
We can't do this. We can't do this if there's even any remote risk of us being on YouTube. Rumble, thank you very much. Let's continue on Mug Club. You get Rug Club. That's where Biden buys these hair pieces. I'm sure you can guess why there's no way we can do this anywhere other than Mug Club. Thank you, Rumble. YouTube, piss off. Let's go.